Have you ever thought about where your produce comes from? Most grocery chains receive produce from various local and national farmers. In fact, there are about 3.4 million farmers in the United States today. But of that staggering number, only 45,000 are Black farmers. At the Better Buggy, we are a proud group of Atlanta-based Black-owned farmers, selling produce locally and nationwide. Our easy-to-navigate online platform makes it easy for you to make a one-time purchase or to simplify your life by subscribing to our weekly produce box. Whichever frequency you choose, you can order with confidence, knowing you'll receive 100% organic farm-fresh produce. If you're looking for a thoughtful gift for a loved one that they'd actually find useful, be sure to pop by our online store where you can snag a gift card your recipient can use to order their own produce and t-shirts. Ready to start supporting local Black-owned farms and making healthier food decisions? Visit thebetterbuggy.com now to start shopping.
Ladies and gentlemen, when the lockdown happened, I think it sent shockwaves, not only through the country, but also through many of the religious institutions in the country. A lot of people just can't believe how much America has changed. It has changed a lot. Even the feel of America, when you wake up every day, it don't even feel the same that it did even a year or two ago. It has dramatically changed. And attitudes have changed towards religion. So this story came out on NPR July 8th, 2021. A portion of white Christians in the US has stopped shrinking, new study finds. So evangelicals really were strong back in the 70s and 80s. But from that point on, they've been in a steady decline. It has not been the same for a long, long time in this country for them. So I'm going to go ahead and play this audio from NPR.
There have been two big trends about religion in the U.S. in recent years. One is that the number of white Christians is declining, and the number of Americans who say they're not affiliated with any religion is growing. A huge new survey has found that those trends are finally stabilizing. NPR's Becky Sullivan has more.
America used to have a supermajority of white, non-Hispanic Christians. Back in 1976, white Christians made up 80% of all Americans. But in the 1990s, that started changing rapidly. And now, for the first time, those new numbers seem to be settling into place, the new survey finds, with white Christians making up about 44% of Americans, and people who say they have no religious identity making up about a quarter. These things tend to be generational, and it's really began with the millennial generation. That's Robert P. Jones, the CEO and founder of the Public Religion Research Institute, the nonpartisan group that conducted the survey. That's the generation that grew up really seeing the Christian right as the most public expression of religion. And it was a partisan, very conservative, and had commitments like anti-gay commitments that really ran against the kind of values of that generation. The PRRI survey is called the 2020 Census of American Religion. It is not affiliated with the U.S. Census Bureau because the U.S. Census has not widely asked about religion since the 1950s. So researchers set out to fill in the gap with an ambitious, comprehensive survey. Over the last 7 years, they conducted nearly 500,000 interviews asking about things like race and ethnicity and age and political preference. Republicans, they found, are overwhelmingly likely to be white and Christian. Democrats, meanwhile, are much more religiously diverse, with lots of white Christians, yes, but also big groups of Black Protestants, Latino Catholics, and people who aren't religious at all. Jones says those findings also correlate with age, but in very different ways. The Democratic Party today, in terms of race and religion, looks about like 30-year-old America, right? So it seems to have adjusted to the dramatic demographic changes quite well. While Republicans, he says, look more like 70-year-old America. Becky Sullivan, NPR News.
Well, one thing I do know, and I did videos on this a couple of years back, how Black churches are closing all around the country, especially out of the area that I came from in Philly. A lot of those churches back when I was small had a lot of members, and now a lot of churches are closing their doors in major cities. So they're not there like they used to be. And if you remember, I also did a video on how the Catholic Church were closing like 1,100 schools and churches, because a lot of Catholic schools are connected to the church, at least the ones out here. You got the church, and then right next to the church is the Catholic school. That's how it is around here. So, yeah, things are changing. I know a lot of these people are wondering what is happening. What is happening? Because things are not the same. Even with jobs, the economy is still not back. It won't be back at the rate that it's going. And, religion, a lot of people are going to get discouraged and drop away from religion, especially if, the minister is telling them one thing, but they're out here seeing something totally different. And that's what's disturbing a lot of these folks. They realize they're not getting the truth from their pastors, you know? And look, they better get with the program because things are not going to go back to the way it was before. And y'all, since I can't do CV videos on YouTube, I'm going to start doing them on Anchor because there are things going on in this country that you need to know, about, what's being spread in the country. So I'm going to start doing that on my Anchor, and I will begin next week and probably go more active with that as well because, America on their media, they're just trying to avoid so many things that they really should be talking about right now. And they're just straight up avoiding it. And I think that's very dangerous myself, but that's my opinion. So, y'all, please tell me what you think about how it is shrinking around this country with people and Christianity. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.